the key business partners we have in the world is Saudi Arabia. Yesterday, it was announced that Britain is basically halving its support for Yemen from 160 million to 87 million, which has been condemned by aid organisations as a death sentence for the people already enduring an appalling war and famine in the Yemen. The person who started the conflict in the Yemen is the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman. How much trade do we do with the Saudis on arms at the moment?
We do a great deal. BAE Systems have been trading with Saudi Arabia for decades now. And what we're doing diplomatically is not only have we supported Yemen, we've given something like £1 billion over the last 3 or 4 years.
You just halved our support for the Yemen, and yet you continue to do billions and billions of pounds worth of arms trade with Saudi Arabia, which started this conflict in the Yemen, which is the worst in the world right now. And it also comes at a time when America, the American government, has released a 4-page report which fingers the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman as the man who orchestrated, led and directed the appalling murder of the Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, who was very critical of his regime. They sawed this guy to pieces in an effort to silence him, which is what they successfully did. It was the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia that ordered this. What are we doing about this? Are we issuing sanctions against him? We have sanctions against 20 other leading Saudis. Is the UK government actually going to show a moral stand here against this person? Or is the fact that we have so much money invested in the arms trade with this Crown Prince that we daren't raise a finger to him when he saws journalists to pieces?
So you'll have noticed, Piers, that the Americans, having condemned the Crown Prince, have explicitly ruled out having sanctions because they realise that the way to influence Saudi Arabia isn't simply to cut off.
But I think that's cowardly too. Yeah, but hang on. I think that's cowardly too, Minister. I think Joe Biden has shown moral cowardice. He was all over this when he was running for president, and now he's president. He's bottled it. He's done exactly what Donald Trump did. No one dares stand up to Saudi Arabia because you haven't got the guts. I don't care what America's response is. I'm asking you, as the UK government representative today, how comfortable do you feel that we've just halved our support for the poor, impoverished, war-torn people of the Yemen, but at the same time we are giving no sanctions and virtually no public criticism of the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who started that war, is using our weapons to kill people, and also saws up journalists and is not being made accountable? How comfortable are you with that?
Things. No, I'll say 2 things. You've asked me a long question. I'll say 2 things to that. Firstly, no country has given more support proportionally than the UK to Yemen over the last 3 or 4 years, and we continue to support the people in that appalling situation. Secondly, we make representations the whole time to the Saudi government about humanitarian aid, about the way in which they're waging this campaign, and the fact that we are providing support. And the way we do that is by engaging in dialogue with people across the Gulf. Our diplomacy is second to none in this area, and the way in which we're going to stop Saudi Arabia doing bad things in this way is by talking to them and by actually stressing that we're appalled by their behaviour.
He's not going to give us stuff about that, is he? He doesn't care whether you're appalled by him or not. What he wants to have done to him, surely, is what we've done to at least 20 Saudi nationals. The Foreign Secretary, Dominic Raab, imposed travel bans and asset freezes last year over their involvement with Khashoggi's death. We now know the person that ordered it and orchestrated it was the Crown Prince himself. Are you just going to look after the minions that he ordered to do his dirty work, or are we going to apply sanctions and stand up in a moral and ethical way against this Crown Prince, who is, according to the United States government, a man who murders journalists to suppress their free speech?
I don't think you're right, Piers. I think the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman cares deeply about his reputation across the world. I think he cares a great deal when Great Britain says to him that some of his behaviour is unacceptable. I think that has a huge impact on him.
Come on, you don't. Sorry, Mr. Kwarteng, with respect, even you don't believe what you just said to me. You think Mohammed bin Salman gives us stuff about a few people in the UK government saying, "Oh, we're disappointed"? We should be hitting him hard, shouldn't we? And the reason we're not hitting
think
him hard
they-
is we make
Because they're
billions
our biggest
selling them
arms
arms which
export
they're
partner.
then using to brutalise people in the Yemen. We all know what's going on here, and it's grubby, and hiding behind the fact that the Americans have bottled it too, I don't think is good enough. Where's our moral compass?
As I said, Piers, we're trying to influence him, and that's
How? What are you
absolutely
doing
free.
to it?
That's absolutely key.
How is
That's
he being
absolutely
made?
key.
How is he being made
Me.
accountable? Seriously.
Will you allow me to answer your question?
Sure.
Thank you. I think the reputation of Saudi Arabia is really important to them. I think they really care about the fact that our press is very much scrutinizing their behavior. I think they want to be a good international citizen. And I think this Khashoggi affair was humiliating to them. I think it was something which they have suffered for diplomatically. And I think the way to engage any regime like that is to keep the conversation going.
I don't think he's concerned about reputational damage.
He literally sent.
I think he is.
He sent a team of executioners to lead this journalist into a room where they sawed him to pieces. That's what this.
It's appalling.
And a tip
You're the
from the
business
press isn't going to
secretary.
influence
Do you
him.
not
I am
feel?
the business
Yeah, but
secretary.
you're as a business secretary. Do you not feel uncomfortable about doing
Of
business
course I
with a
do.
man that does that?
Of course I do. But at the same time, I'm trying to influence the government so that they can stop the Saudi government, so they can stop killing journalists. I think it's what they did and what the Americans have said they did is appalling.
What would he have to
there's
do?
no way
What would
that
he have to do
there's
for
no
you to
way.
call? I mean, what would he have to do for you to call for sanctions, as you have done against the people that actually did the dirty deed? People will
So
say, well,
I think-
why go after the little guys when you haven't got the gumption to go after the big guy at the top who ordered it all?
We absolutely have the gumption to hold the Saudis to account. That's what we're doing. That's what our diplomacy is doing. But at the same time, we realise that there are important relationships that business people, not the Saudi government, but business people have in Saudi Arabia. So it's a balance. It's always a balance in these matters.
Yeah.
Don't fool yourself, Piers. I think we are absolutely focused on trying to make sure that the Saudi government doesn't murder journalists and doesn't behave in a way that's unacceptable to the international
And you
community.
do that by going after the little guys that were ordered to do the dirty work, but you let the guy who ordered it get off scot-free. I'm not sure that he's going to be too bothered about our criticism.
We're going after people who have committed great crimes. The people that are involved, I think, are going to be facing Saudi justice, and we will review our approach to the government all the time. We're looking at this all the time.
But just to
But
finally
simply just to
clarify,
cut off-
our only call for any form of accountability is that we want the Crown Prince to know we're disappointed.
No, you trivialise it. I think his reputation.
No, it's not me
is really
trivialising it. It's the UK government talking a good game, but actually doing nothing, because to do anything might upset the Crown Prince, and that might damage our billions of arm trade with him, a lot of which he's using at the moment to terrorise people in the Yemen. And what's our response? We slash our help for the people in the Yemen in half. I don't think that's trivialising it. I think that's the cold, hard reality of
you cannot
geopolitics.
criticise.
And I wish our country would show a bit more gumption about it.
You cannot criticise what we've done in the Yemen. We've provided more support than I think any other country
And just
in the world
okay.
on that.
So things have got easier for the people in Yemen, have they, in the last year?
No, they haven't. And
So why have you slashed the aid in half?
I don't recognise the fact, the numbers that you quote. What we've done is we've provided over the last 4 years £1 billion.
You don't recognise. Well, let me repeat them to you. Britain donated 160 million to Yemen in 2020. On March the 1st, 2021, Britain pledged 87 million. That's 54% of last year's donation. Which part of that don't you recognise?
No. So what I said, Piers, is that over the last 3 or 4 years, there isn't a country in the world that has given
That
more
wasn't what I was
support to
talking about. I was
than
talking about
Britain.
I was talking about whether you recognise halving the contribution to the people of the Yemen, given that it's worse than ever. You don't seem to have an argument other than saying, well, before that, we used to help them. Now we don't bother. Even though the bloke that started the war there is somebody who saws up journalists. I just think I would like to see the British government show that the Crown Prince can't get away with this stuff. Anyway,
Okay.
we've got to leave it there.
Kwasi Kwarteng, thank you very much indeed
Thank you very much.
for joining us
Thank you.
this morning. In a moment, we're going to speak to the amazing Billy Munger.